Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to be mass producing this birthday card with some different backgrounds. I have my cardstock for my card bases and the white part of the card. And then this pink paisley and many more set. And then also this stamp set, all the cupcakes, even though it has a piece of cake, that the Crafty Redhead on Instagram, I know that she kind of stays up late, and I was freaking out because I couldn't remember the stamp set that the cake was from, and she helped me figure it out. And then I found it. So thank you to her. And then Happy from Lawn Fawn will be using. I'm going to be using my Extreme Black ink and then a Pale Tomato Hero Arts ink. And then also these dies from Lawn Fawn. They're stitched, scalloped, I think stackables, because they're not frames or anything like that. Then we're going to be using glossy accents on the flame, and then the Nuvo glitter drops on the candle. We're going to be lifting up the white part on foam, and then also 2 Copics and 3 tri-blends. The 2 Copics are just for the candle, and the 3 tri-blends are going to be for the frosting, the candle, and then the cake part, the actual kind of like vanilla cake it looks like. And then I'm going to use my paper trimmer. So this is kind of meant as kind of like a motivation video if you come across it, to help motivate you to mass produce some cards. I have mixed feelings about mass producing, because I want to still put the handmade love into every single one of my cards that I give to people, but I also want to be able to send cards out on time and have enough of them. So I have to have a happy medium somewhere in between where I still have love put into every one of my cards, but also be able to make batches of them so that I don't forget anyone's birthday or make their card 2 months late, which happened recently, and I feel terrible about, because I've just been really, really bad about making them. So I wanted to make a video to help myself, but also to help you guys if you need to make some cards to have on hand. And so I'm cutting card bases to kind of open like a book, and then I'm also cutting 3 pieces of cardstock into quarters for the white part where we're going to stamp the cake and the sentiment. And then I'm going to be using my mini Misty to make this easier, but you can do this with acrylic blocks and kind of an assembly line. And I saved you the time of me cutting out 12 of those stitched scallop stackables, I think is what they're called. And now I'm going to score my card bases at 4 1/4. So I have this mini scoreboard. I don't use the bone folder. That's what it's called. It's kind of flimsy, the one that comes with it. And I prefer my really heavy duty Martha Stewart bone folder, which is not bone, it's plastic. If there are bone folders made out of actual bone, I don't want to know about it. But this is my favorite one, and my larger score board, which is Martha Stewart. I have a 12 by 12, but it's kind of under some things and it's not super handy. So I bought this little one to help me with card bases, and I just keep it on one of my little Rascog cart things from Michael's. And that keeps it handy. So now I'm going to fold and burnish. I think that's what people say. Anyway, I will be folding it. I'm going to show you, I'm looking at the measurements here because cardstock is cardstock. When you cut it at 5 1/2, you don't always think that it's going to be exactly 5 1/2. So I fold on the bump. So the bump goes on the inside. And then when I fold it over, I showed you that 1/8 of an inch kind of peeks over and folds over on the front side. So because of that, and because I don't want to go to my cutter and trim that off, instead I'm not going to take all the time to do that. We're just going to cut these backgrounds a little bit larger than 4¼ by 5½, just to make sure we cover the whole background. So I'm going to go through and pick some backgrounds that I want, that I think would be good on a birthday card. I am skipping the ones with a lot of white space because I already have a white centerpiece going on. So I want really colorful backgrounds. Yellow is just not really my thing, so I didn't choose that one. This one has too much white. This one is pretty good. It's a little flowery, not quite birthday, but I decided to go with it. This one, we're going to have a little paper rave here because I'm way too excited about the gold foiling. This one I decided had enough flowers and not too much white space to be a background. This one is perfect because it's birthday presents. That one is really cute, but way too light. And then this one is just balloon filled. So that's perfect. This one is super pretty and I love it with the gold foiling, but I don't want to cover up any of those pretty cakes and waste that paper. So I'm counting the amount that I pulled out, and then I'm pulling some duplicates. So this paper pad comes with 2 of every page, I believe, and I am only going to get 1 out of each of these just because of the size of it. It could have been a 6 by 6 and I still would have only gotten 1 background out of each one. I think it's a 6 by 8, but I'm going to show you what I do with the extra paper. That is And Many More by Pink Paisley. It's my second pad because I have mass produced this card twice now. So we're going to trim it at a little longer than 5½ and a little longer than 4¼ So I'm going to go kind of 1/8 of an inch over just to make sure I cover those not so exact card bases that I cut. And then I'm stacking my extra pieces because I can use them on future cards. And then I will show you how I store those extra pieces. I don't know who came up with the genius idea that I show you, but it was based off of a Target dollar spot item, I think a few years ago. And then I went and found them and bought like 6 or 8 of them because I'm that person, unfortunately. So I hope no one came after me looking for them. I think I left a couple behind, but anyway, I will show you what it is after we're done cutting these backgrounds. Flowers can be very birthday-esque. I really like this one, though. I think this is my favorite background with all the words and the gold foiling. And I think the candles are my second favorite background with the light pink. It's just super cute. And these colors together, the magenta and the blue, are just beautiful. But the candles here are my second favorite. Okay, so now we've got 12 and we have these little adhesive square label pockets. So we're going to open up to the back of our paper pad. It's a little pocket. It's got sticky all over the back of it, and you just kind of put it towards the bottom, stick it down, and then you grab all your extra paper pieces if they will fit, and you put them in the pocket. And now you have all your extras in the back. So if you would like to do that, hopefully you can find these. I don't know where they are. It was like a teacher thing a few years ago. Then I had to refill my gun because it was out. It ran out in one of my other videos, I think my last video. So I refilled my gun with my tape runner, and now I am going to put the tape runner down onto the card base, since my card base is smaller than my background by a little bit, and I don't want to have exposed glue. So I'm going to put the glue or tape runner down onto the card base and then center my background, and hopefully not showing any white. I got pretty close. I have some of them with a little tiny bit of white peeking out, but once you pin down a corner, it's hard to see. And I am filming and I can't do what I normally would do, which is hover over it so I can have like a bird's eye view of what I'm doing. I'm trying not to put my head or my hair into your view of what I'm doing. So through the magic of YouTube, I have finished all 12 of those. I'm not going to show you 100% of this process. It is meant for motivation. It's not meant to be an hour long. We are going to now use the Misty to get our cake stamped, then our happy, and then our birthday. And for the sentiment, we get to do one of my favorite things that I do with sentiments in card making, which is making one of the words pop with colored ink. And I love it. But you've already seen the card. I showed it to you. So we will stamp all of these cakes. And the benefit of using the stamping platform, if you don't have one, don't feel like you can't mass produce cards, because you can easily center it well enough. It's just a picture of a cake on an acrylic block, and have an assembly line with an acrylic block. The only thing that would be harder without a stamp positioner, which I'm not even doing here, is double stamping. If it's like not enough ink and you want to stamp it again, you know it will be in the exact same spot. But in this case, I didn't even do that. You just make sure that your stamp is nice and clean and you have really good ink, and you don't really have to worry about that. I just use this because I have it and I do like it for mass producing. But if you don't have one and you just have acrylic blocks for your stamps or whatever you put your stamps on, by all means, you can mass produce as many cards as you want. You just have to have the energy, or find the energy to do it. So, magic of YouTube, yet again, we have stamped all 12 of those happies in the pale tomato from Hero Arts. And now we're going to stamp the birthday in black to match the cake. And we will do that 12 times. I'm not sure how many I show you. Probably a couple or a few. And I am just stamping once. I'm just making sure I'm stamping really well. Okay, so now we have 12 card bases with 12 backgrounds, and we've got 12 of our kind of centerpiece made. Now you can choose to either stick down, either foam mount or not foam mount is up to you, stick or glue down this before you color or after you color. And I am being gutsy, ballsy, I don't know, insert word here, and sticking it down before I color. I have that much confidence in my coloring skills to where I'm going to do it after the fact, because that's the order I wanted to do things in. So all my cards are ready to be colored. You could even just leave it and write a message inside that the recipient, if you're giving to card makers, which most of us are, they could color it themselves with Copics or whatever based on the ink you used, but I will be coloring mine in. So I am just using the pale pink shades, which is one of my favorite pinks from the Tri Blends, and coloring in the frosting. You could have an assembly line of coloring too, so where you color, you know, in this specific scenario, all the orange dots on the candle, all the yellows on the candle, all the frostings, then all the cakes. And honestly, if I'm doing a lot of cards, I'll switch up the order I do things in just to keep it interesting and to make sure I'm not making super repetitive hand motions and giving myself carpal tunnel. And then we're going to use Jade Green Blend to fill in the candle, all 3 of the blend. And then we'll use Nuvo Glitter Drops in Gold Coast, which is just clear with gold glitter, I believe, to coat the candle. And then you will need some surface area if you are mass producing for these to dry on. And then glossy accents for the candle. And I tend to use my tweezers to pop any bubbles that the glossy accents produces. And it works pretty well because they're pointy and sharp. So just a little orange dot in the flame, then the yellow. And then this time I filled in the candle first. And then color in the rest. And then you throw on your glossy accents. Or your white accents. I didn't do any white accents on these, which is fine. I like the glitter and the glossy accents well enough. I could add white accents. I might actually do that, but I don't in this video. And I am not going to color all of them on the video or show you all of them colored because I am not done coloring them. I will be doing that tomorrow because it is very late. But I do color 2 of them for you, and hopefully this inspires you or gives you some idea to keep up on birthday cards or to create kind of just to have an arsenal of cards to give out. I will be using my Stamp Market storage dividers in a bin to separate my occasions and have all of these cards ready to ship out to people. Birthdays, holidays, thinking of you, thank you. I do need some pet loss ones. I don't like making those. I don't want to have to make them for anyone, but they need to be made. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helped inspire you a little bit, and I will see you guys soon, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Bye.